Hey guys, it's Bree. So in today's video, we're going to be doing my April and May reading wrap up. I am always excited to be talking about the books that I read, but of course I always explain them wrong. So bear with me guys, like always with this. I'm not gonna lie, the last couple of months have been really audiobook heavy, which I'm not gonna lie. I don't mind, but I love me a good physical read, so there's a little bit less physical reads. But either way, reading is reading. So we're going to go ahead and always go and jump right in with what we read for April. So I'm gonna go ahead and just talk about the standalones first, and then I'll talk about the audiobooks I did. So I ended up starting the month out with Scythe and Sparrow by Bryn Weaver, which is the last book in the Reminisce Love trilogy. This one follows Finian, who is the doctor of the group, who has probably the most respectable job out of all of them. And then you have Rose, who is a badass motorcyclist who's in a circus, who wants dabbles in murder and everything like that. This one, I'm not gonna lie, I really did enjoy. I don't know what it is about Bryn Weaver, what goes onto her head that she translates to her writing. That's so hilarious to me. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, the scenes that she plays out, the events that go on in her book are always so funny to me. So going into this one, I was very excited. And of course, I loved Rose from the get-go. I loved her since the first book whenever she was mentioned, because I don't know, I just loved her little odd personality, and I really liked Finian. He was kind of like, not the back shadow child, but like, he was the one who was a little bit different than his brothers, who tries to do his best, but in the end is a little bit, what's it called? But anyways, like I said, I really did enjoy this one, but I will say, I hate to say, this one probably is last place for me in the book ranking for this series, only because I think I loved the other two a little bit more. And I don't know, I felt like I really did love their relationship, but that time jump where they weren't together and stuff like that, I was like, that really kind of hurt my heart. But otherwise, I really enjoyed it either way, and I thought it was a good conclusion to the series, so I ended up really loving that one. And I also did love with it seeing the time frame between between the first couple books in this one, because technically this one takes place before the events, kind of in the middle of the first couple of books. So I really did love seeing their perspective with that, and yeah, I really did enjoy that one. Then from there, we ended up going into a fantasy. We finally guys read A Fragile Enchantment by Alison Soft. This has been on my TBR for, I believe, 2 years, guys. So I've had this on my TBR for 2 years, and I finally got around to reading it, and I was so excited for it. I ended up really enjoying it. I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember how to say the main character's name, but in this one, basically, the magic system in this one is also really interesting to me. Her magic is that she's able to sew emotions that she's feeling into clothing, and I think that's really interesting. So you have her with that, but also her magic kind of takes a toll on her throughout the series, no, not series, without the book, that she's like feeling kind of weak, and like it kind of drains her life and stuff like that. But then you also have Kit, who is the prince of the kingdom, who is engaged to be married. So she's basically hired on by the king to make the clothes for the wedding and stuff like that. And then you have a little bit of scandal going on as well. I love a book with a little scandal in it. It's always so fun to me to read. But yeah, I really did enjoy this one, especially because, like I said, in my opinion, it's very hard to do standalone fantasies sometimes, because you have to put so much into a book for us to understand the world, but also make it a good amount of pages and also wrap up really well too. So I really did enjoy this one so much. I loved the romance, I loved the friendship and everything going on in here. It was so good. So I ended up really loving that one either way. And then from there, we went into YA Contemporary, because we ended up reading Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. This one, of course, is based in, I think it's the 80s or the 70s in El Paso. I was actually really surprised going into this, finding out that it was set in El Paso. I ended up really loving that little aspect of it, and it is Latino representation along with LGBTQ plus representation. So you have Aristotle. Basically, it's Aristotle going through his crisis in life, his coming of age story, and what you will. I'm not gonna lie, it took me a while to get into this book, even though I will say this book is so easy to read. It is basically really short chapters, but the thing about it is I feel like it is written like a teenager is writing it, which makes sense since it is told kind of like Aristotle, like it's kind of like almost like his diary, that in like that aspect. I think that's what kind of got me, that it took me a little bit to get into, because I hate to say sometimes Ari would irritate me to be honest, but I mean it makes sense in general. And same time with Dante. Dante is an innocent soul, and I feel like he's a little too sensitive at times too. But either way, I enjoyed it going a little bit towards the end. I am in the middle of reading Dive into the Waters of the World, and I'm hoping to go through that one a little bit quicker. I'm only like 150 pages into that one, so I'm hoping to go through that one a little bit quicker and hoping to enjoy it a little bit more, because like I said, I did like it, but it did take me a while to get into it. So we did have that one, and I'm not gonna lie, I did love the aspect of him having his crisis with being Mexican American as well, him and Dante, because it is something that most Mexican American kids go through, which is very accurate, and I really did enjoy that as well. So those are the 3 physical books that I read for the month, and then we have my audiobooks that I read for the month. So the first one I ended up reading was Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. I don't know, I kind of had to go in between Iron Flame and reading these other 2 audiobooks, because it took me a while to get into, only because in my opinion I thought Violet was very annoying towards the beginning of this book, only because she was being Violet and she wanted to be mad about something. I mean, I understood why she was angry, but she dragged it on for a little bit too much in my opinion throughout this book. But I really did enjoy it either way, and the ending got to me so much. So I did really end up enjoying Iron Flame, but I'm not gonna lie, it probably is kind of like my least favorite, at least right now, of the series. So we have that one there. Then we ended up reading Make It Sweet by Kristen Callahan. This one was a really fun read for me, to be honest. I read it in a day, in audio, because it was really, really fast. But I ended up really enjoying it a lot more than I thought I did. And I was really happy with it. So in this one we have Emma, who's basically, she's an actress. And after being killed off of her show that was really, really popular and finding her boyfriend cheating on her, she ends up going to like a little getaway in someplace in California, kind of like a bed and breakfast, where she meets Lucian, who is an ex-hockey player and is also a baker and a cook. So yeah, you have that in here. I ended up really, really enjoying it, guys. I thought it was really a quick, fun little read, and I really did enjoy towards the end of it Lucian, his like problems with himself, and like that little conflict that we had. I ended up really liking that as well, but it was really, really good. I really did enjoy it, and I really kind of want to read more about this author, because this one seems like a really good fun read. And then I ended up reading Lights Out by Navessa Allen, guys. I finally went ahead and did the audiobook version of this. I was debating if I want to do audio or physical with reading this one, because like I said, a lot of times when it comes to romances, I really don't read the audiobook, because I like to save my audiobook credits for fantasies and stuff that I want to read. But I ended up doing it with this one, and I ended up really, really enjoying it. I really, really liked it. We all know what Lights Out is about. It's a stalker romance. In my opinion, I loved it, but it was so unrealistic at times. But I'm like, that's the fun of romance and everything like that. Josh was a sweetheart. I loved that man like nothing else, and I really did love Allie. Like, I loved the relationship between them two. And then, I'm not gonna lie, going towards the end, some of the stuff that was thrown into them, I was really intrigued by. So I'm very excited for the next book, because the next book literally comes out the 10th. So I'm excited to pick that one up as well and listen to it on audio. Yeah, but really, really like that one. So that was, I will feel like, a good solid reading month for April. Now going into May, this is where a lot of my books, I read 9 books, but most of them on audio. So let's go ahead and just jump right into, let's go ahead and just do the physical books first, and then we'll go into the audios. Foxglove by Adelaide Grace, guys. I finally finished Foxglove. Okay, listen. I DNF'd this book back in October, only because it was around the time I was reading the Devil's Night series. And I don't think that was a good idea for me to try to jump into a different series while trying to finish the Devil's Night series. And that was my mistake by doing that. But I ended up going back into this, and I ended up effing loving it. I loved it so much, guys. Especially because, like I said, I love the concept of this. Like, it's such an interesting concept It's basically it's basically paranormal mixed with murder mystery, if you will. Like, it's so interesting to me, and I freaking love it because you deal with death as like an actual person. You deal with Signa, who's like literally like a Grim Reaper, like she can't die, and then you have also in this one you have Fate. So you have all that mixed together, and I love it as well because you get more of Blythe in here. I loved Blythe in this as well. I'm so excited for her the next book because that's mostly in her, like kind of in her perspective. And literally, I'm not gonna lie, the little plot twist going towards, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of called the plot twist, to be honest, going towards the end, but I was so happy it was confirmed because it makes sense, and I'm so excited for Wisteria that I am hoping to read it at least next month, but I really want to read it before the end of summer. Even though I feel like this is a good fall read, I really want to finish it towards the end of the summer because I really want to get on and finish off the series. So yeah, this one was really, really good, and I really, really loved it. Then from there, continuing on with another series, we ended up reading Twisted by Emily McIntyre. So this one is a Aladdin reimagining. So you have Yasmin, who is the daughter to a diamond empire, who basically is having to deal with her father, who has fallen ill, and his last wish for her is to marry a man that'll treat her right and help her out with the business and everything like that. Then you have Julian, who one goal is to be the most powerful man in the world. So basically in this one, it's basically a marriage of convenience, enemies to lovers, bickering and whatnot. I really did enjoy this. I will say I enjoyed it, but I hate to say it probably may fall into my least favorite book of the series, only because in my opinion, I felt like if it was a little bit longer, it would have helped out, because I felt like they kind of fell for each other a little bit fast. Just a little bit too fast. Maybe a couple more pages with them bickering would have given me a little bit more, because I felt like that happened a little too fast. But either way, I did enjoy it, and I'm not gonna lie, the ending conflict happened a little fast too. But either way, like I said, I did enjoy it. Is it my favorite of the series? No, but I did love Julian. I really did love Julian. I ended up really liking him. I liked Yasmin. I felt like, but the thing about Yaz is that I felt like she needed to stick up for herself a little bit more throughout this book. That's something that I feel like she should have done. But other than like I said, I did enjoy it either way. Then listen, Sweet Obsessions by Katee Roberts, my most anticipated release of the year, guys, that I actually did read. This is the 7th or the 8th? This is the 8th book in the Dark Olympus series. This one we follow Icarus and we follow Poseidon. Listen, like I said, with this, the plot is thickening with the series. I hate to report that this is okay. It's not going to be in my bottom of my least favorite books of the series, but it wasn't my favorite, which really upsets me because I really was excited for Poseidon and Icarus's book, only because I feel like for this one, kind of like how Untwisted was, the romance happened way too fast. Like, it was not even 100 pages in and they were already kissing. Like, I needed a little bit more. The time frame for it also was really, really sped up. Well, not sped up, but the time frame within everything happened really fast. I felt like it should have been prolonged a little bit longer. Because like I said, this one is a little shorter compared to some of her other books in the series. If she would have made this a little bit longer, I probably would have ate it up, because going towards the end, I ended up, like I said, I really did end up enjoying it, but if it was a little bit longer, I would have ended up loving it even more. I will say I love Poseidon. He is a marshmallow of a man. He is funny because his persona is very big, very large. He's described as a very big man as well, but he is such a cinnamon roll. Like, he's literally such a cinnamon roll, and the poor thing is stressed out majority of the time. And I really did enjoy Icarus. Icarus was a little bit somebody I didn't know if I would enjoy him in his book, but I did. But like I said, the only main thing about this book is I wish it was longer. I just wish it was a little bit longer. I wish the plot would have been stretched a little bit more. The romance would have been stretched a little bit more, because like I said, it happened a little too fast. So I didn't eat it up as much as I thought I would, but I did enjoy it. So we have that there, and now I have to patiently wait until like December for the next book to come out. Kill me now. Anyways, going on from there is going to be the rest of my audiobooks. So I ended up having literally finishing off the rest of the series with these audiobooks. So of course we ended up finishing Onyx Storm, guys. So Onyx Storm, this is the third book, of course, in the, is it called the Imperium series or something like that? This one, I see what you did, Miss Ma'am. I see what you did. I really did enjoy this one. I really, really did. Especially going off the events of the last one, going into this one, I was very interested to see how it would work out. I ended up, like I said, I ended up really liking it. I liked it more than Iron Flame, only because I feel like Scarlet got her crap together in this one. And of course, I am not gonna lie, I just enjoy Xaden. I just think this man is really, really good. My only gripe about this whole damn book is, I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be kind of a spoiler, so if you don't want a spoiler, skip ahead. I'm allowing you. What the hell was them going back for in general? Because I understand why they went back in the last book. What was the point of them going back to the college? What was the point of them going back to classes? Like, that's the one thing I don't understand, is how they went back to literally being like people ahead of their class, going back to the actual college and being back in classes and going by their rules again. Like, I don't understand all that, especially when Xaden kind of became like a professor. Why? Like, that's the only gripe I have, is what the hell was that? But other than that, I did enjoy it. The ending kind of confused me a little bit though, so we shall see how the rest of the series pans out, especially because I heard it's going to be a while until the 4th book comes out. I did enjoy it, but I will say this. At least my opinions for this series so far, I'm pretty sure a lot of people would like to know my opinions. Of course you would. It's not gonna be my top favorite series. I will say that. This is kind of how Lightlark, I'm not gonna lie, I like it more than Lightlark. How Lightlark, so I enjoy this series. I will continue on with it because I like to see how the plot thickens, but it's probably not gonna be one of my top favorite series, because a lot of people say this is like their top series. I enjoy it, but it's not one of my tops. Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm not into, it's not a book, I hate to say, that I'm anticipating it coming out next, you know what I mean? But I did enjoy it, so we had those there. And then the big mama jamma that took up my whole month was, I decided, and I knew this was gonna happen to me, I read the whole Heroes of Olympus series by Rick Riordan. I read this all on audio, and I read it all in the month because, like I said, the audiobooks for these weren't that long. They were only about, I read in 2x speed, so they were only about like 7 to 8 hours each, so I went through these like crazy. I'm not gonna lie, I think I literally read Heroes of Olympus in like a day or two. I read that so fast. So let's go over my overall thoughts on this series. I effing loved it. Like I said, I really, really did enjoy it. I'm not gonna lie, I did hear a spoiler going into the Trial of Apollo that made me wanted to die last night, but it's fine. It's fine. So let's go ahead. So of course we have The Lost Hero as the first book. I ate this book up like nothing else. It was devoured. It was everything else. I think it's because also I loved the perspective of getting new fresh characters in here, and their quest was so fun to me, and also the concept of bringing Roman mythology into this was so interesting to me as well. But I did love everybody. I loved Leo. I will say Leo is probably my favorite character going into this, because he was a goofball. I loved him so much, and I think it's also because he was Mexican American. I loved him as well, so I loved him in this one. Then the son of Neptune, effing loved this one as well. I enjoyed it. I'm not gonna lie, I think the first book is probably my favorite of the series, at least so far, but I did love seeing Percy again. I loved getting back into Percy's mind. I love seeing also the other side characters in here and everything like that. Then you have The Mark of Athena. This one as well, really enjoyed going into it because Annabeth, loved Annabeth and everything like that. The ending killed me though. The ending killed me. Then we have the House of Hades. Effin loved this one. This one was so good. In my opinion, I think the first and this one is probably my favorite of the series. Bob. That's all I gotta say. Is Bob. So we have that one there. And then we have, of course, the last one. The ending of this one kind of killed me too, because I need some answers. I do need some answers. I know stuff is, I know they say that it kind of continues on into the Trial of Apollo, which I really do want to get the Trial of Apollo, like that series so much. But like I said, I have so many other series right now I need to try to get to before I get to those. So we're going to try to do that. But anyways, overall, it was such a good series in my opinion. I still love Percy Jackson just a tad bit more. But I will say the references in here from Percy Jackson, and I will say I got teared up every time they mentioned Zoe or in Beckendorf. I loved them so much. So yeah, that was all of the Heroes of Olympus and everything like that. So that, guys, is my reading wrap up for the last couple months. Like I said, it was very audio heavy, But I literally finished a whole series in 1 month on audio, which was really good for me. I got through a good amount of the books that I've been wanting to on my TBR, but like always, there's still so much to go through. So I need some space. I need some things to do with that. So let me know down below which one of these books you thought was, if you read them, let me know your thoughts on them, guys, because I actually would like to know your thoughts about them. And I will see y'all guys in my next reading wrap up, my next TBR video and whatnot. And I will see y'all guys next time. Bye.